Blackwater in Libya. When the Arab Spring reached Libya in 2011, it ignited a revolution that tore the country apart and reshaped power dynamics across North Africa. As rebel groups fought to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, and NATO launched airstrikes in support of the uprising, a hidden war also began, one that involved shadow diplomacy, covert contracts, and private military contractors operating under the radar. Among the names rumored to be present, none stirred more curiosity and concern than Blackwater. Officially, the U.S. had limited ground presence in Libya. But the strategic value of the country, its vast oil reserves, geographic position, and proximity to European trade routes, meant that covert operations were inevitable. As the conflict escalated and chaos engulfed Tripoli, Benghazi, and Sirte, Blackwater reportedly began operations through intermediaries and shell companies, providing protection, intelligence, and logistical support for Western interests caught in the crossfire. One of their alleged missions was the protection of foreign oil fields. With Libya's infrastructure collapsing and rival factions seizing energy hubs, international companies needed help to secure assets. Blackwater contractors were said to be flown in under commercial disguises, embedded with local security teams, and tasked with securing the perimeter of oil facilities in regions like the Sirte Basin and the Oil Crescent. These weren't combat deployments in the traditional sense. They were designed to maintain operational continuity and prevent billion-dollar investments from falling into hostile hands. At the same time, intelligence operatives on the ground required protection. CIA officers, State Department envoys, and defense contractors needed secure transit between Libya's crumbling cities and safe extraction routes in case diplomacy failed. Blackwater reportedly supplied armed convoys, oversaw airlift operations, and coordinated evacuation protocols for select foreign personnel. Missions that were never acknowledged publicly, but became the backbone of emergency planning. In eastern Libya, where factions aligned with Western interests sought dominance, Blackwater contractors allegedly provided training and equipment guidance to local militias. The goal wasn't regime change. It had already happened. The goal was influence, to shape the post-Gaddafi future in favor of Western allies while preventing extremist groups from gaining ground. But Libya was more than a failed state. It was a battlefield for foreign agendas. Turkey, Russia, France, and the UAE all backed competing factions. Wagner Group mercenaries operated in the same spaces where Blackwater-linked personnel were rumored to be. This brought global private military rivalry into direct contact, escalating the risk and complexity of every mission. The legal and ethical fog surrounding Blackwater's Libyan involvement was thick. No public contracts, no official acknowledgments, just whispers from diplomats, blurred photos of foreign operatives, and the occasional leaked report suggesting that once again, war had been privatized. For Blackwater, Libya represented the new frontier. Not a war dictated by a single narrative, but a chessboard of shifting alliances, fragmented governments, and resource-driven power plays. It was a place where private armies could operate with fewer constraints and more leverage, influencing outcomes not through headlines, but through quiet action. Blackwater's alleged role in Libya underscores the changing face of warfare. No uniforms, no accountability, just results, measured not in territory gained, but in interests protected and assets preserved. In a country left in ruins, where the fight was no longer about liberation but survival, Blackwater operated in the margins, where the most decisive battles are often won, out of sight, off the record, and beyond the reach of law.